Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. This was a fabulous weekend. In Wichita, due to the weather, wow, we had 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, where it was in the low 70s without wind. Normally when it's this hot, the wind's blowing 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. The bad weather went north of us, the cold weather, and we are awakened to news that perhaps Boston's going to get another 2 feet of snow, which would be a bunch under any circumstances, but I think the Northeast has had its share of snow here over the last month, so I know they are not looking forward to it. So not much news out around the globe over the weekend. HSBC perhaps helped hide $100 billion of wealthy people's money from the tax collector. They're in the news. Citi came out with a report that China's market may correct 23%. I always love the 3%, you know, where they come up with that, but be that as it may. The Hong Kong market was off, as were the European and UK markets. The E-mini followed the lead of the EU and is lower, and so financials are up. So when I look at this screen right here, I see the volume node up at the 2905.5 or 2906, and this is a potential target. We got a saddle formation that we're working on right now, and we've got volume down here at 22. So I've got pretty good support, 24 to 20, and resistance is at 4 to 8. Currently we're at 28, so no news. First sell is 31 to 03, and the second sell will be 7 to 11. The first buy will be 25 to 21, and then 17 to 13 for buy 2. And I think the course of battle will be fought with the direction of the E-mini. If the E-mini finds buyers this morning and rallies back up, we should see this market the potential's off a little bit. If the E-mini continues to sell, we'll probably be higher, but leaning against this on a limit sell at 5 and a limit buy at 23 would be the two structural trades in the area where I would like to engage the market first time around, and we'll see what happens. Definitely a P in the overnight session, so I think if we're going to get long, we're going to have to if you're going to get long, you got to be a little quicker than you are if you're going to get short. On to the ZB. Knob spread continues to come in a little bit. I mean, the bottom never falls out of this, nor the top come off either. Well, it's easier for it to explode to the upside than it is to sell. The selling's pretty orderly, the knob spread. So structurally right here, we've got a low of, looks like 17, 22. Got this area right here at 07. So resistance starts at basically 8 to 12, then it's going to jump up to that 20 area. So 7 to 11 will be sell 1, and it take a 3 to get in. I don't know. It just depends on what happens with the E-mini. But again, I think we have to get long faster than we do getting short, and then we'll put the second sell zone at 19 to 23. On the buy side, 25 to 21. And then 13 to 17 for buy 2, with a knob spread roughly at 18. Everybody make it through the weekend okay with football withdrawal. I guess you can always watch reruns if you're in the severe throes of withdrawal. But I've turned my television off. I'll probably watch a little bit of the Final Four, but basketball doesn't float my boat. Yeah, that's what we did. Actually, I cheated. I did pork chops this weekend. I'm kind of getting beefed out. But I tried a new recipe on pork chops that a friend of mine introduced me to a couple of weeks ago. A thick pork chop, light garlic powder, and cinnamon. The cinnamon you coat it up pretty well, and it's an interesting flavor on pork. I'd never had that before, so I tried it, and it turned out really, really good. Be interesting to know if any of you other have cooked with cinnamon on pork. It was very, very the light garlic powder, very heavy on the cinnamon. And a little salt. That was the rub. And it was delicious. It's a little bit different than what I was used to. It's an interesting flavor. Yeah, brown sugar or ginger would be good with it too. I haven't gotten to. I'll write that down, Don, and give it a shot. Okay, gold. Risk off, risks on. If the E-mini rallies back, gold will probably continue to sell, and if the E-mini sells today, gold can come back a little bit. So our most interesting area up here is going to be 45 to 50 area. So you got a B high at 44, we got an A high at 46. So this 44, 46 is sell 1. It's where resistance is. Then our 49 to 51 will be sell 2. And we got this volume up here at 52 that you can see. That might be able to pull the market up to it. On the buy side, got this volume from 33 to 35, so we'll make 35 to 33 buy 1. And our 28 to 30 buy 2, and that's just where support is. I think the market is in sell mode right now, especially if the E-mini can manage to rally. I don't think anything's changed in the Ukraine. I don't think anything has changed in Europe. There's noise that the Swiss National Bank is out there supporting the spread at its current levels. It's really, really hard to say, but currency traders going to sleep long or short of currency these days have a lot of courage. You got to have the equity in the account to handle or absorb these slams created by central banks. They move overnight, they move stealth, all of a sudden you wake up, the news hits the headline, and instant revaluation of whatever the currency is where the headline hit. So you got to be able to absorb a $15,000 to $20,000 loss when you put your currency trades on. Keep that in mind. The objective is no matter what happens, and sometimes bad things will happen, you got to be able to trade the next day if you're going to get that money back. Okay, the euro. Germany's exports came in much higher than forecast, so the lower euro is working. We're seeing complaints out of the United States about what the higher dollar is doing to our exports in the recent release of statistics. So it does have effect for a short period of time, and it will help your trade balance for a short period of time. But then as you go to restock the larder, inflation kicks in. So it's usually a pretty quick temporary gain. Okay, 113 obviously is pretty round numbers, so 113 plus or minus, sell 1. Got volume up at 49. I don't think we can get that high. Last rotate up stopped at 25, so 25 to 35 will be sell 2. On the buy side, I kind of like the 1250 just because it's a round number and it should bounce the market. And then our 1215 to 1225 for buy 2. Cake oil is all over the map. Tensions are rising in the Middle East. I read the bomb damage assessment report from a guy that was pretty knowledgeable, and he pointed out that because of these portable, or they're called man pads, these shoulder-fired heat-seeking missiles, that the sorties are being flown at 15,000 feet. And the coalition will be dropping dumb bombs. They won't be dropping laser-guided bombs. So the coefficient of error is quite a bit larger than it is if you come in lower and put the bombs on target. So headlines, collateral damage, these people know how to work the press. They can put children in suicide vests and put them all around buildings that are going to be bombed, and the press doesn't say a word, but let one of those kids get killed by the coalition forces or the West, and then the press is all over them. So, and they know how to play the press as well as anybody does. So that's the situation that we find ourselves in. So tensions are escalating, and that doesn't necessarily stop selling in crude oil longer term, but it does put short sellers on the sidelines. And so you remove one side of the market, so it's easier for crude to trade up because of the tensions in the Middle East than it is for it to trade lower. So we've got volume down here in this 5175, 52 area. Looks like a pretty good place to get long. Bottom of values below 52, and in our 51 and a quarter, 51.50. This thing can move 2 to 3 handles in a day. It's a big market, so just have to understand that when you start playing it, and handle the risk, and don't be surprised you're wrong. Keep the losses manageable, and you'll, over the course of the day, you'll do quite well if you keep trading it. And to the E-mini. Again, the central banks around the globe don't take to heavy selling in stock markets. They don't mind it selling. They don't mind it getting out of hand, but they don't want it to get out of hand, and that's where we see the 50 lot. So right now, I just want to show you the impact of volume structurally, especially in the overnight session. There's real money to be made if your natural trading hours are the European hours. One of them, if a market's going to change direction, it'll do it on London opening. And the other one is it just trades so technically, and these people know where volume or value is. And you can see right here that the high volume number from Friday stopped the market on the opening, and the high volume number from Thursday pulled the market to it. So just looking at where volume is, this 50 to 55 area right here, and then we've got volume 30, that's quite a ways away, so at 40. So I'm guessing we got reasonable support 35 to 40, so we'll make buy 1 40 plus or minus, buy 2 35 plus or minus. On the sell side, going to lean against resistance 49 to 51. And again, London's high is 47, so we might have to kind of below that. But I think they got a shot at getting stops above London's high and then 54 to 56. No news to drive today's trading. So do we get follow-through buying or selling? Follow-through selling from the overnight session. Again, right now, the United States is at odds with the EU. The talk out of the United States is arming the Ukraine so they can defend themselves. And that would have been nice if that would have been done a long time ago. Doing it right now with what's going on. I mean, Russia's playing us. They've got our number. I mean, when you look at the comments that come out of the State House and come out of the White House briefings, I mean, they're really pathetic if you pay attention to what they're saying. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between Merkel and Obama today. Okay, take about 20 minutes to get everything up and down.